Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler V series V's I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff and drink stuff, then, folks, I'm gonna talk about the stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie, I am feeling rather fancy schmancy with this one, but we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm in my back room today, which means we get Beer Can Thunderbolt poster. Ooh, Beer Can Thunderbolt poster. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am doing something else. What is it? Spirit Sword. I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear a super cool shirt, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, though? Happens to be my Yu Yu Hakusho Kuwabara shirt. Yeah, man. I love this. If you're unfamiliar, Yu Yu Hakusho, it's at this point an older anime. It kind of came up around the same time as like Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon and all that. Kind of part of that generation. I got into it much later. It wasn't until probably the late '90s or very early 2000s when they started showing it on Cartoon Network. First, it was on Adult Swim, that eventually made its way onto just the normal Toonami programming, and it clicked with me, man. I just thought it was super cool, and I'm still a huge nerd for it at this point. I really love the design of this, though. This is this whole sort of trend they had where they go over there and take like anime characters and stuff and put them in comic book style poses. Coolbar is definitely one of my favorite characters. So, but anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? It has nothing to do with Kuwabara, but it is fancy schmancy. And that's because, folks, I'm going to be going over there and doing a review of quite possibly my favorite cola, but not just in any format. No, folks, because we are reviewing Boom RC Cola Royal Crown. Ooh, but it's in a bottle. Look at it. It's in a bottle. I love RC Cola. I like all the big colas, Coke, Pepsi, what have you. But I have to admit, I have a certain fondness for RC. RC was definitely a brand that my family, we tended to have in the house when I was a little kid. We eventually sort of moved more on to the Coke and Pepsi products, but I've always got that soft spot for Royal Crown Cola. And on top of that, it was developed because of spite. If you don't know, look into the history of Royal Crown Cola. Basically was developed as a fuck you to Coca-Cola. So I've never had it in bottle format, though. I've had it in the plastic containers. I've had it in cans. Now we're going to try the bottle. Ooh, and everybody knows the bottle version is the best version. Can we get a thing for a thing that looks like this? We'll go, ha, 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 ha. And let's give it a shot. You twist off, or am I going to have to grab my thing? Nope, going to have to grab the thing. Electrical cabinet key. There we go. Pop it. There we go. I don't want to damage the top too much because I want to save the bottle. It's fancy. It has that Royal Crown scent. Oh. Oh, that's good. Tastes like nostalgia. There's just something about it, man. And RC tends to be looked down upon. It's the third option, when you can't get Coke or Pepsi. But I don't personally agree with that. I was actually watching there's this one YouTuber, I can't think of his channel name off the top of my head, I apologize. But he reviewed some colas. He does mostly alcohol stuff, but he did a thing with colas. And he did not like RC very much. But I don't know, man. There's something to it for me. It's a smooth cola. And I think for me, a lot of it comes down to it feels very balanced. Whereas like Pepsi, I like Pepsi. Pepsi's definitely a sweeter cola. Coca-Cola, is, I mean, it's the king of colas, no two ways about it. But I kind of feel like with Coke, I don't know, it has that old timey flavor, which I do love, no two ways about it. But there's just something about the kind of the simplicity of Royal Crown. Like, it's I don't know, I don't want to say. I mean, I just called it, just said simplicity anyway. But like the flavor of it, it has a nice cola flavor, and it just feels to me sort of almost like unfiltered. Like there's not a lot of just added stuff to it or one way or another, and it just feels nice and balanced. It feels like a nice or tastes like a really nice drink to drink. And again, to me personally, that's just me. Um, like I said, I do know that it often gets shit on, but I don't know, man. And part of me thinks, yeah, maybe it's a little bit of nostalgia, just because again, I did grow up with it, so I have that taste for it. But then at the same time, there was like years where I didn't drink it, just because again, my family really was more doing the Coke and Pepsi thing, and it wasn't until I kind of got back to it where I was like, damn, I really like this. But yeah, there's like it's a nice cola flavor. There's kind of a simplicity to the flavor, but it still has like a nice bold hit of cola. And I guess there's a little bit of an acidity to it, the kind of on the tail end. I think that was the one thing that the one YouTuber was talking about. He didn't like that end of things. Um, I don't know. I kind of find it almost a little bit refreshing. It's not like bitterly acidic or anything, but it's just a little something on the back end. I just like that so much. I know my friend Frank, and sometimes Frank watches my video. Hi, Frank, if you happen to watch this video. Um, I know he's a big fan of RC Cola too. And yeah, man, I think there's something to it. It's not going to be for everybody. Cola preferences tend to run deep, but damn, man, I like RC. And again, maybe it's nostalgia, but I just think that it just works with my palate. I love like the mouth feel of it. It has the benefit too of being an older cola. It's established in 1905. It's over 100 years old. Um, and it just so it has some of that old style kind of flavor vibes. But then at the same time, like I personally think it just has like a really nice personality to it, and I like the cola flavor and the just sort of that hit, that sort of unfiltered hit. I really like this. Um, Three questions have to be asked though. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Is it any better drinking it from the bottle? Yes, yes, and a little bit yes. I mean, now I'll say this. I could probably go over there and take, RC from, uh, like a can or, like a plastic bottle. And realistically, how much difference is there? You know, but there's just kind of no denying that, like, soda tastes better from a glass bottle. It's just, I feel like, with the plastic, with the metal, it's imparting a certain amount of flavor. Not a lot, but enough. Whereas with the glass, I feel like that's the kind of the purest you're going to get. And for me, I absolutely will get RC again. And if I can, I'd love to get it in the bottle. The only problem is the only place I know is a specialty soda shop. Uh, but yeah, man, I knew coming into this I was gonna love it, but it is just one of those things where again, feels a little bit fancier, pinky out while you're drinking it. Damn, that's a good cola. But would I recommend it? Yes, the fuck I would. I mean, look, if you're already Team Coke or Team Pepsi or what have you, I'm not going to try to change your allegiance or anything. But I will say this. I do think that there's room for more than just two cola champions, right? And I think that RC Cola has put up a great fight over the years. At times they genuinely, were messing with Coca-Cola sales, and actually there's, again, a lot of history there between the two companies and a lot of shenanigans between them both. Um, yeah, but I do think, and I think that if you're a cola fan, but maybe you don't have like a specific favorite, give RC a shot, and I'd like to see people, I'd like to see them give it a fair shake because I don't feel like its reputation as being this, again, like this crappy third option. I don't think that it really holds up, because I do think it's a really good cola. It's not going to be for everybody, but I think it deserves more love. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week. Excuse me. Monumental rest. Great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, phenomenal rest of your year. I can't even remember the thing. And folks, go over there and have yourselves a truly love whatever cola you want to love-tastic rest of your life. Because, damn it, love that cola. Even if it's like zero sugar, what the fuck ever. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, have you gone over there and tried RC Cola? And if so, what's your personal opinion on it? Moreover, should I go over there and do a bottled cola taste test special, between like at the very least the big 3, maybe I'll toss in like a 4th one as some kind of something. Let me know if that seems like something to be interesting to you. It's in my head now, and it's like, I don't know, I'm wondering if there's a way I could make it like a blind test without like, just only me being part of the video, but we'll see. Anyway,